All right, welcome back to Over the Moon. We have a special guest today. Who wants to introduce our special guest today? Pam or Stephanie?
Pam.
Well, Pam, of course, we have Sonja, our compliance officer, with us today.
Hello.
And she's great. She keeps all of us in line so we all don't mess up and get in trouble.
Yeah, she tries her best to keep us all in line.
It's a bit of a
She
challenge.
tries. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
she
yeah.
does. She does. Stephanie gets in trouble the most. But,
No.
oh, Nate, maybe? Nate's not
I'm
here,
pretty
maybe.
sweet. I don't get in trouble.
No
Nate's
trouble.
not
Nobody
with
gets in
us,
trouble.
so. Nobody gets in
I
trouble?
just step out on that floor and,
I know, I've watched that.
yeah, they just
You step out on that floor and they're all going,
right in line.
they
Not
just like-
everybody. Not everybody.
everybody. I hate to tell you, Sonja,
a few
it's
people
everybody.
run and scatter, but not
No,
everybody.
it's if they're not in the cage and they can run, they run.
I nailed.
But if they're in
I
the
nailed
cage,
Tammy
they
all the
go.
They're
time.
stuck.
Didn't Stephanie run at one point away from Sonya?
She didn't admit it
Yes.
till she liked me, but yeah, apparently she dodged and hid every time she saw me hit the floor. But those were
I
the
did.
early days.
That was when she first started, yeah.
Yeah, when I first got here, there were virtually no policies in place, so I had to throw a lot together really quickly. So it was very overwhelming for everybody, and I earned.
Well, that's kind of bad because you're the new employee and they introduce you as the compliance person, blah, blah, blah. Then within a month of your first being here, you're labeled by the employees as, oh my God, there comes Sonja. Now what?
So mean.
Yes.
So mean.
Yes.
Whatever I pretty much wanted, and then Sonya came and had to line me out.
Well, and
Yeah.
I heard that a lot. You know,
Yeah.
people be. I tried to explain it in the beginning. Like they'd be like, "Well, we've never done that before." It's like, well, actually, you were supposed to do it this way all along. And I'm really sorry nobody told you, but unfortunately, we have to do it this way. But you know, I knew coming in that it's not a popular job. You know, I hated compliance, and I was in operations most of my career, so I hated
Yeah.
compliance because it seemed like they just sat at desks and just wrote willy-nilly rules without any consideration as to whether or not how we were going to implement them, how we were going to be able to function as a casino and give the best possible customer service to everybody, and still comply with these ridiculous rules. And I was hoping that coming in from the operations side that I would be able to kind of mix the two.
Right.
So I could look at what the rules are, look at how you were doing it, which is why I was always chasing Stephanie because I needed her to walk me through the process and look at how they do it and then make sure I kind of mix the two together so that it was realistic. Sometimes you don't have a choice. It's just a black and white rule. But mostly I think, hopefully I succeeded. And if they hate me, they hate me. I feel like my job is to keep the casino doors open and everybody's job safe.
Right.
I feel kind of like Mama Bear. Like
Right.
I'm making sure that we're safe. No one's going to yell at anybody. We're not going to get the doors closed. We're not going to get fined.
Yeah.
So that's how I accept the fact that I'm the mean mom.
Yes, you are.
So getting to know Sonya, just tell us a little bit about who Sonya is and where she's from.
I'm originally from Southern California, and I ended up, after a few moves, in Las Vegas. So we moved there in 97. I moved here in 2019. So I was there 22 years. So I guess I'm probably more from Vegas.
So is that where you really got all your gaming experience and started getting into gaming?
Yeah, I mean, when you live in Vegas, that's the coveted thing. You want to
That's
go
the
to
main
a
job.
casino. That's
Yeah.
the job that pays the best and has the most options, has the best benefits. There's unions in a lot of them. So it's definitely a coveted job in Vegas, which I don't find here, which probably was one of the hardest things to adjust to here. But anyway, I worked for a car dealership at first, and then I, for whatever reason, ended up leaving there, and I stopped by a casino one day to see if there were any jobs I could pretend I could do just to get my foot in the door. And they had an auditing position, and I had worked accounting in the car dealership for 20 years. So I figured I was qualified to do audit, and that's how I started. A few
So
months.
you just like the jobs that are mean.
Well, I do like numbers, and I do like
I mean, the audit
details.
people, it's kind of like we go
Well, I'm a rule
Yeah.
follower.
like that when
the
they
scary
come
one.
to, and then compliance.
I do.
So
I do like
that
follow
attention, I
rules.
guess, could be good.
You know, compliance came about because I worked in customer service for 20 years because I was in audit.
Right.
I was only in audit for about 5 years, and then I moved to the floor. And then I did kind of worked my way through slots up to management, and I loved it. Like I will forever tell people that the best job I ever had was being a slot attendant because especially in Vegas, people are on vacation, and even though some people might get a little upset here or there because the machines aren't going their way, it was just fun. It's mostly a party
The
atmosphere.
interaction with the
I love
customer.
it. But I've always had a challenge in my life that I love the customer service aspect of any job, but I miss brain work, you know, the paperwork. So moving to management and slots helped with that because I did some paperwork, but I still was mostly on the floor. But after, 20 plus years of dealing with the public, sometimes you just need to take a step back. And I found that as I was getting older and as life had beaten me up a little bit, I was a little less patient. And I decided to go ahead and move into compliance. I wasn't able to do it while I was in Vegas, but the opportunity came when I moved to Missouri. So I am
So here you are.
Yeah.
in compliance.
So coming from Vegas, how difficult was it to learn Indian gaming?
It was challenging because Vegas is so corporate. And of course, Vegas is all class 3. And I don't know if most people realize it, but there's 2 different types of games. There's the bingo-based games from Indian gaming, and then there's the commercial-based games class 3, server-based, and I won't get into all the boring details. But I had never heard of class 2, which were the games based on bingo. I knew nothing about them. So, and it's so corporate in Vegas that you really feel like you're a number. And when I came here, one of the things that inspired me the most to take this position was my interview, because it was explained to me that all of the funds that we earn here, all of our profit or revenue goes directly to the tribe. And I thought, oh my gosh, so the more success we have, instead of buying second jets for some corporate dude in Vegas, we're actually helping the tribal people, which I knew nothing of. And but it was very inspiring, and it touched me when I found out that's what happened. That's where the money went, and made it real easy to step in and become very protective of you all and want to make sure
Save all of our
there's
jobs.
lots of money for the
Keep
tribe.
us all
Yeah,
from
we're just
getting
trying to help.
But that was the
walked
biggest,
up.
you're not a number here, that's
No.
for sure. I
No.
can't speak for all of the other casinos in Indian
Right.
gaming. I know there are some very large ones that are probably run in a very
Yes.
corporate way, but not here. Here,
Here's
your
like
family.
home. Yeah.
It really is. It really is. So, I mean, I know a lot of places say that. You go to work and they're like, oh, well, we're all friends and we all get along. But seriously,
No, everybody doesn't ever get along every day.
yeah, I've felt nothing but encouragement and acceptance since I came here.
Good.
Yeah.
Even though I ran from you, I wasn't
Even
very
though you ran
accepting.
from me, I knew. See, that's just a testament to
And
how
now I
smart
call you
you
my
are.
work mom. So
Because you're the one that I went looking for because I knew you could give me the answers.
And you know what? When you started here and compliance became a big thing, even though I'm food and beverage, we still have to abide by compliance policies.
you're
I
supposed
picked
to.
up, yeah, we're supposed to. I picked up on, because before I came to work in a casino and got to learn this lifestyle, I was always in banking. So it blew my mind. CTRs, all this stuff. Okay, we did all that in banking. So it kind of just,
Yeah. We have the same laws as banks.
yes.
And we're talking about compliance with policies and all of that. That's one side of it.
Right.
That's where we
And
have
then
to
there's the
stay
money
with
side.
NIGA, NICGA. Oops, NIGA.
NIGC.
NIGC. I'm thinking about that conference we're going to be going to with IGA.
Yeah.
But then there's the BSA compliance,
Right.
the anti-money laundering. And
Right.
fortunately for you all, I worked for, am I allowed to say who I worked for?
I mean, previous, I don't, it's really up to you.
I worked for Caesars Entertainment, which is a very large organization in Vegas. They have many, many casinos. And years ago, one of their properties got hit really hard with a very large fine. And it wasn't because of them like helping people money launder, but it was because they didn't have a program in place that was strong enough to train the employees how to spot things and help do everything in their power to prevent the money
Right.
laundering.
So just a real quick educational part, because I know some some viewers might not know what money laundering. Can you explain real quick what that is?
Money laundering is when you take money that you got from illegal ways, and you push it through a system in a way that it appears to now become legit. So with a casino, you could transfer large funds of money to yourself and then go withdraw it at the casino. You know, you're kind of you're creating a paper trail for that money.
Right.
So that it will appear to have come from somewhere other than the drugs you sold on the corner.
Right.
So now we're a little casino. So we mostly, and it can be frustrating because the Caesars got hit with that fine, we had a huge training program, huge. And it was like this 3-day thing. And then as a manager, I had to perform the training on the new employees that came in. We did yearly testing. So that was one of the things they were looking for when they interviewed me. And I could be real confident that I could build a program. And we're so little, and I know it seems crazy unfair that we have so many rules that we have to follow, like a bank.
Right.
When there's only one way people can money launder here. I'm not going to tell you what that is. And but we still have to go through the massive training. We still have to meet all the requirements, all the same requirements.
Right.
So that's a big part of my job. It's the BSA compliance,
Yeah,
ETRs.
So much fun. So
Yeah.
much fun.
And it's fun. I think that's fun because never mind. I don't want to give away my trade secrets.
Oh, gotta keep something
be
secret.
quiet.
Man.
You can't hide as well as you think.
But
Not
if
from
you,
me.
Sonia will find
If you know
Not
the
from Sonia.
if you know all the policies inside and out, you could launder money almost anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it isn't a big factor here, but we still have
Yeah.
to follow all the
So-
rules.
No, but in the bigger cities it is. I mean, like I say, go back to my banking time. We caught a customer was like kiting. You know, he had a bank account here, a bank account there, and then he would write a check from the account of that one and put it in this one to cover what he'd wrote out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. We're talking thousands and thousands of dollars that really wasn't ever there. It wasn't
crazy.
nowhere. It wasn't in the other accounts. The man had no money, but it looked like he had lots of money.
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Well, then that's not money laundering.
No, that was kiting. Eventually, we caught him. So
Well, unfortunately, they have a lot of automated systems now that help. with
yeah,
all
more's
this.
online now.
We don't really have them here because we're so low risk and so small. They have them, but they're just, I don't feel like it's justified.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend the money painting the building and making us pretty and making our customers more comfortable than
Our
automated
customers are
programs.
cool. Yeah,
I love our customers.
I do too.
Yeah. So anyway,
So aside from compliance, you also do some in marketing. You want to talk about marketing?
that's way more fun.
Yeah.
That kind of just happened
It is fun.
accidentally. Just like you didn't have a compliance department,
Right.
we don't have a marketing department.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
the people that were in charge of it have slowly gone away, and one piece at a time has come to my
Landed on
desk
your
because
plate.
once I wrote all the policies, there wasn't a lot to do, So yeah, that's the fun stuff though, and you're a big part of that too, Stephanie.
No,
Yeah,
I just do what you tell me to
Stephanie.
do.
No, that's not true. You've taken on all of the, in case our audience doesn't know, Stephanie sets up all the displays, any items you see on the floor, like whether they're prizes or just decorations or props. She does all the shopping, all the planning.
Yes,
of
I
all
get to
of
do the
that.
fch things like the shopping.
Yeah, I'm there in the computer
You
doing
do the
Excel
planning
stuff.
and the typing and everything.
No, you do the planning. Everybody does the planning. We have meetings. Everybody talks about what they think
It's
would
fun.
be fun. I definitely do probably most of the paperwork for it, but that's okay. That falls in stuff I'm
Yeah,
good at.
falls in.
And I don't mind doing it. And Lori's taken on a lot. Those of you that don't know Lori, she runs our count and drop in our cage. She found herself with some spare time, and you can't say those words out loud in front of me. I'm giving you marketing
you'll
duties.
find it, yeah.
So we are all the marketing
Yeah.
department.
Yeah, we are the culture that wears multiple hats.
Yeah, but that's fun.
But
That's
you
the
know
best
what?
part.
It is fun.
None of us complain.
No, well,
No.
there's no reason to. Honestly, most of
We
my
don't
favorite
hear that.
jobs, yeah.
It's not my job.
No, I have never learned
Do not
more
say
It's
than
not
those
my
when I
job.
worked for
Yeah,
small.
don't say it's not my job around here.
Yeah. I mean, I did the same thing in the car industry because I was in that for 20 years. And, I worked for little places so that when you were in the office, you just didn't do one thing. You,
Did multiple.
yeah, you learned all of it, little pieces of all of it. And it's the same thing here. Anybody that works at the Prairie Moon Casino, if they leave, they're going to have been trained in across the board jobs because that's the
Yeah.
way we work here because we're so small.
But that's the way it should be. I mean, like
It's
in
more
food and
fun.
beverage,
What's
if my
it-
bartender calls in at evening, guess who's the bartender? The
Nate.
evening
I was
supervisor.
saying, Nathan?
The floor supervisor. Or Nathan.
It ain't me.
Now, Nate. Nate's great.
Nate does everything.
He does everything. He
Don't
can do
tell him.
everything.
We won't tell him his
Yeah.
head won't fit through the door.
I know. I know he might be listening.
Yeah, I got to keep an eye on Nate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. Always. But and that way everybody's like cross-trained. And I'm sure them floor supervisors are like, the daytime ones that get the call that somebody called in at the bar, they're like, oh, I can't wait to tell so-and-so they got to work the bar this evening. And then they come in and say, guess what? The evening bartender called in. And then they're like, oh, man, do I have to work the bar? Yep. You got to work the bar. So,
I welcome variety to
I
my
do too.
job.
It keeps
Any
your day.
excuse to do something different,
Right.
it
and then
makes
once
me
they
happy.
do it, they're okay. They
Well,
like
it's
it.
fun.
Yeah.
But working in a casino is fun. The floor.
Yeah.
So the idea, just the general idea, while we're on that topic of working, what's important to you, Sonja, when it comes to work and working with others?
Be honest.
Be honest. I have to come up with an answer. I can't come up with a lie. You mean like my work environment? Like
Yeah, just in general, yeah. Here at the casino.
what keeps me happy at a job?
Yeah.
Is well, first of all, work ethic is huge to me. I
thought you were going to say the people you work with, but that's fine.
I know, right?
Not number one.
I like to work with people. Well, the people around me, I have a strong work ethic, and so I appreciate that when it's around me. It's really hard to work with people that don't pull their weight or they have a bad
Right.
attitude. I read a book years ago about management, and it talked about identifying your employees, what their currency is, like what they'll work for. Some people want extra time off. Some people want to they strive to get the shift they want. Some people want a raise.
Yeah.
I'm a attaboy person. Like I need to know that the people around me appreciate what I'm doing, and I need to feel needed. It's really important to me to feel needed. Like I
Well-
don't do well in the environment that everybody's replaceable, and
Yeah.
I need to feel appreciated and needed. And if you do that, I'll stay. I'm incredibly loyal. So I kind of expect that from other people, to be loyal
Yeah.
to our company.
Well, I'm sure you feel pretty needed from me. I'm always calling you,
I feel appreciated.
texting you, Sonja.
I don't mean
How
to
do
be
I spell this?
I don't need to be sappy, but I feel appreciated, and we've all discussed this in our manager meetings. and
Right.
stuff. And right now we have a very good leader that fosters this feeling that
We
we all
do.
have of inclusiveness. I'm a woman, so I'm not going to talk down on women, but having so many coworkers around you and working so closely, female or male, and not have any problems.
No.
Like nobody's
Mhm.
stabbing anyone in the back. Nobody's
yeah.
feeling all jealous and threatened like you're trying to get their job. It just feels like everybody supports each other and lifts everybody up. We just want success. We want success for us as a team, us as a casino as a whole. and our floor, all of our frontline employees, which I don't know that they know that. I wish there was a way for them to know
How much we
how we actually
Yeah.
feel about what the work they do and how much we really do appreciate it. It's real easy to think managers are just off in their office and don't give. It's one of the things I learned when I first became a manager. The first thing that shocked me was I spent my whole life frontline employee thinking I was 1 foot out the door, one
Right.
mistake and that's it.
Right.
And that's how I worked, you know.
Mhm.
And I got to management side and I realized that is not
No.
what's the
No,
reality.
no.
The reality is we want you to succeed. We don't
Yeah.
want new people. We want you here, coach up, not out. That's what they teach you. I was shocked by that, and I wish I could make everybody that ever works with me believe
be able
that
to, yeah.
that that's a fact. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I try to, every morning I do my walkthrough. And I always speak to whoever the cashier is, whoever the supervisor is. I even catch like graveyards, third
Yeah.
shift leaving. And I'll talk to them and blah this, blah that. But my own department, like yesterday, I went in and I said, Mary, Brenda, I really appreciate y'all. You really do a good job. And no, first I just told Mary that. Brenda wasn't standing right there. But she heard me. Here she comes in. She goes, well, what am I, chopped liver? I said, no, I appreciate you too. And then Mary, of course, is funny. She says, well, thank you, Pam. She goes, I pat myself on the back every day. I said, that's good because I don't have time to come in here and pat you on the back every day. But they're really good. But they do appreciate just the little words.
The little things.
Yeah.
Just the little things help.
Absolutely.
Well, having that self-confidence is pretty big,
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'd still be like, if I seen Sonya walk across
Oh,
the floor
stop.
towards me, I'd still be like,
Hey,
oh my God,
If you
what
don't-
did we do?
it's so funny is in the beginning
Or what didn't we do?
Something about me does that even when I'm not in compliance. So I had to learn years ago to it used to be funny. Like I used to have this ritual before I'd set foot through the door that took me to the floor. I'd put this little smirky smile
Yeah.
on and trained myself to walk around with that because otherwise everyone thought I was mad all the time and I wasn't mad.
Yeah.
But apparently I have that.
Oh, I guess
face.
RBF.
Yeah. So
I've been told that too. I
And
think we're a lot alike in
it's
that
It's
area.
also
a
very-
cold show right now.
I'm also very I'm very task oriented. So
Right.
like if I
Yeah.
hit the floor and I'm looking for something, I don't know who I'm walking by. I can
Right.
be very centered.
Tunnel
and
vision.
Yes, and I realize that when I'm like that, I look like I'm mad, or maybe I'm walking with purpose, and
Right.
maybe it comes off aggressive. I don't know. I learned years ago to put the smile on. When I first came here, I would just over the top talk to people, and just trying to so that to let them know that I was a real person, and they did. I mean, because not only was I compliance, I was from Vegas, and
Yeah.
gonna come in here and Vegas us up here. Like, who does she
You
think
were
she
very
is?
different. Yeah.
Yeah, you were different. You were
I
different for
know,
Oklahoma, yes.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's all
Sorry.
right.
I
You
can't
grew
tell
on
you
us.
how many times I heard, well, this isn't Vegas.
I know.
Yeah.
Every time we rolled out a
But
policy.
you know what?
She came from
Everybody
Vegas.
does that.
We're
Every-
Oklahoma.
Yeah, but guess what? You're gaming.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
That is
matter
I
true.
what state
certainly
you're
didn't
in.
say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't either. I never said that. Oh, well, in Vegas.
Well, you know what? Some of that.
I said it yesterday.
Listen. Some of that, understand, some of that is because I'm trying to show examples of
Mhm.
things that are possible that we didn't think we could do. And some of the challenge I met doing the policies in the beginning was just that. Well, we've always done it like this, or you can't do that. Or it was just helping. It's like, well, this is how we handled it where I'm from. It's the same rule. And this is how we managed it. So, I know everybody hates when people reference where they were, but I've never heard anybody not reference where they were. It's very human nature.
Yeah, it's based on the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Now I say, that other place.
That other
Yeah.
place. Well, that will work
Anyway.
too, that other place, because we all know what that other place is.
Yeah.
Vegas.
If not for that other place, I wouldn't have this job, and we wouldn't have the policies we have in place and what people might not, care about. We've had some close scrutiny happen in the last few years, and we got through it
Yeah.
undinged because of those annoying policies. So I'm
That's
proud of the
true.
work we've done. I'm
That's
very
very
proud
true.
of it.
Yes.
Yes,
Very proud
we've
of
come a
it.
long way as a property.
Yeah.
So on that topic, Sonia, what's the biggest lesson you learned from Indian gaming?
I don't. From Indian gaming or from being here?
From being here, yeah. I mean, learning, how different it is from Las Vegas to here.
I had to accept that things are done differently in Indian gaming than commercial gaming just because of tradition and what people are used to, and that there are more limitations in what we can implement. We're smaller.
Yes.
There are some outdated things that we shouldn't have to do anymore that we still do, but you're dealing with so many people at different levels of experience in the industry, and it's a newer industry, so it's kind of finding its way still.
That's a good point.
So I had to really try to learn to take a step back and understand that and not push so hard unless it was something that I really felt I had to push. And this isn't a lesson learned, or I don't know if this falls under what you're looking for, but what I've taken away from it is a better understanding of the cultural differences, a better
Right.
understanding of, this makes me want to cry a little bit. A better understanding of the lack of education in Native American history in the normal public schools elsewhere, and how little I knew and understood about the history and the discrimination before and now, and way it continues.
Right.
I just was not in the front of my brain my whole life. It just wasn't, and it is now. So probably that's the biggest thing I've taken away from it, or a way I've grown from working in this industry here.
Well, even the history of the Miami tribe and why they're located here in
right.
Oklahoma is a history in itself. So it's
Yeah.
very
Yes.
interesting.
It's just it was very eye opening, and I appreciate that, and I share it with the other people that don't know stuff when I learn stuff.
Well, and when you come to work, it's kind of neat. Our address is 202 8 Tribes Trail.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel kind of privileged when I turn on to the property because there's the Miami Indians, there's the Peorias, there's the Modocs,
I love
there's
it,
the
yeah.
Shawnees, there's the Ottawas. And it's like, I'm a part of all this. And it's pretty exciting, actually. I'm helping these tribal families. I'm helping. I feel like I'm doing my part.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know my own children and grandchildren benefit greatly from their tribe, the Seneca Cayugas. And I go down to Grove and go on that compound of theirs, and I'm like, it's just a whole different feeling. It's like I'm in a whole different world or something. The people are so kind,
Yeah.
and they're so willing to help. And it's just different
Yeah.
how they take care of their own.
It is.
Yeah.
But I feel privileged to pull on this property and work.
Absolutely. I agree.
Because I'm just no white gal,
Oh, yeah. I will go, we'll be like, la da la la la, and some saying that I've said my whole life will start to come out of my mouth, and I'll be like, wait a minute. Oh, I can't say that. Like, it just opened your eyes to things that you've participated in,
Right.
even unknowingly. Little touches of racism or prejudice that you just didn't even recognize that it was that.
Yeah.
And
Oh, a lot of people didn't realize how the Indians, and still to this day, they don't see it as how we treat them, but we still treat them bad. I mean, they still get treated bad. I mean, your own government will show you that on a daily basis, you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Wow.
even the word Indians
Yes.
is scrutinized because is it
Yes.
Indians? Is it Native Americans? Or is it indigenous?
Indigenous.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
interesting.
Yeah, which is
and
it?
I
What do
asked
we
myself,
use?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Tribal. Is it tribal people?
Right.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
and it can be challenging for us non-Native American to know what words to use and to not offend anybody, because it's the last thing I want to do ever
Oh,
is
yeah.
offend anybody.
but don't you kind of feel safe from the outside world when you drive on the property? I do. Because it's like nobody can come here and bother me.
I haven't grasped that so much yet. I still get shocked by some of the rules that don't apply.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning in that.
For sure.
We just need to set up some teepees and
Right.
get our horses.
So, besides compliance, I know Sonja is a slot player.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I shouldn't be, I know, but it's so fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite slot game, Sonja?
Well, it's class 3. Actually, it's not a slot game. I love video poker, but it is crazy how unpopular it is here. I don't get it in Vegas. It's very popular. I know there's that V word again.
Yep, in Vegas.
But as far as slot machines,
What do you like to play in
I
this
love
area?
to play the anything with a bowl with a bunch of coins in it. Dancing drums, I won on once, so I always try
Oh,
one
I don't
version
like
of
that
those.
one.
I
I
don't
won
like those,
$800 on it.
and I don't like the pigs that get bigger and bigger
I
and
hate
bigger.
pigs.
I've
They
lost
never
so
blow
much
up.
Because
money on
I've
those.
seen the pigs that weren't very big
Blow
blow
yeah.
up. And
Well-
then you got this lady over here's playing this one, and the pig's huge and it hasn't blown yet. Come
Well,
on.
Okay. Well,
Miss
this is a
Lady.
moment. This is a teaching moment. What most people may not realize, and even though I realize it, I still fall victim. I still pick the full bowl or the fat
I do
pig,
too.
but it really has nothing to do with anything. All of what you're going to win is determined as soon as you place your bet, basically, and all of this you're looking at is random, and it's just visual, and it's pretty, and it builds excitement, and it has nothing to do with anything. You're just as likely to hit a button and go to bonus when it's this big as when it's this big. It's all to trick us into playing that game, and
Yeah.
it works for me
I've
every
known it
time.
for years, but I still go for that.
It's a
fat
middle.
pig.
I still go
Yeah.
for the fat pig and the big,
big
bowl.
bowl.
And I have witnessed, I know how slot machines work, so I know it doesn't matter. And I've witnessed people sit down next to me with an empty bowl and go to bonus after 2
Right.
spins. So, but I still, it makes it more fun. It makes it more exciting. And so I still fall for it. But yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
I think Planet Moolah entertains me the most.
Oh,
a fun
not
game.
I
me.
cannot win on that. Darn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like what's the game where it shakes? It's like the guy
The
that lives
Triton?
in like Hercules or somebody,
Yeah.
or the guy under the water,
It's under the water.
and he has the what do you call this?
Money
The-
links.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Money
and
Link. Yeah.
all of a sudden you'll be losing and losing
I
and
love
losing, and all of a
that.
sudden the whole screen will
Shakes.
shake, and you're like, yes, and
know it's coming.
Bonus rounds, baby. It's all about the bonus rounds.
Yeah.
I'm not a gambler.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, my husband likes to go, and it's so funny because he'll come home on the weekend and he'll say, "Hey, want to go to the casino?" I said, "Hey, no." He
Just
goes,
spent
"Why?"
40 hours there.
He goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because as soon as I walk in the door, it's like going to Walmart. Oh, hi, Pam. Hey, what are you doing here? No, I don't want to. I don't want to see those people.
She's
Yeah.
done peopling for the week.
Yeah, I'm done with the people by
It must be
Friday.
really hard to be so popular.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I
Let me
find
tell
that
you.
challenging.
What's it feel like to have friends, Pam?
What does
It's
it feel
awful.
like to be the most famous
It's
person
awful.
in Miami?
To know everybody. Everybody
Well,
knows
no one
you.
knows me. I'm anonymous.
You're
everywhere I go.
lucky,
too.
see, yeah. Because I mean, I can't even go away from here and go in one, and there's always somebody.
I love to play. I really do, and I have to limit myself. Living in that other place, you can't be a big gambler, or you can't live there.
Yeah.
But I was going fairly regularly. I go in with a budget. I'm really good. That's why I'm good in compliance. I'm really good with rules. I go in with a budget. This is how much money I get to spend, and if it goes, it goes. I'm cheap, so I bet real low so that my little 20 will last longer. And
Yeah.
But you won't win big betting low.
but no, and that was one of the first lessons I learned in that other evil place, and that was that because you right away you learn. Well, shoot, if I'm betting one and I win $20, if I was betting
Yeah.
two, I would have won $40. So you immediately start increasing your bets. But you know what else happens? You lose faster.
Yeah.
So if I go into a casino with $100 and I go bet a $5 game, which I know has better odds, or I bet high because the payout will be better, I'm going to blow through those 20s too quick,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to have to leave. And to
It goes
me,
fast.
as fun as it is to win, it's all about entertainment. If I can spend a couple hours in a casino and drop $100 and sometimes leave with it, sometimes leave with half of it, sometimes leave with double it, I feel like I've been entertained for a few hours. And
Right.
if you
It got your money's
calculate what a
worth.
good old date night costs,
Right.
it's really not spending too much.
What's the
So
biggest win you ever had, Sonja?
not that big, $1,000.
Oh, hey.
Because I lived 22 years in Vegas and never hit a taxable jackpot because I'm
Wow.
cheap.
Those
and
are
I
the best
don't-
jackpots.
I don't bet high. So $1,000 is a royal and a quarter double game.
Oh,
Poker,
man, look
video
at you.
poker. Probably that's the most money I've ever won is always on video pokers. Now, that dancing drum games I mentioned, I won $825 after two
Wow.
spins.
Oh,
After two spins,
Yeah, I was playing
Lucky,
was with
lucky.
friends
I
after
probably just got
work.
off of it.
I was playing with friends after work, and they were
Me too.
playing those games. Oh, I can't think of the name of them, but they were playing a bank of games that were real popular at the time. There's like a bat version and a gold mining version, and there's a, you get the three connecting on the same reel in a line and bonus, whatever. I was losing, and I finally got a bonus, and I won like $15, and I had spent like $60. So I'm like, that's it. I only have this. I got my $15, and that's all I have. I'm done. And I stopped, but they didn't want to go home yet. So I was just standing there, and I'm like, well, this is boring. So there were those dancing drums right there.
Yeah.
And
Get you every time.
I went to put my little ticket in, and I saw it was 88 cents. I was like, oh, it's too much. And I thought, well, but I don't want to walk away from my friends. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to play these, find the full bowl. And I did. I cashed it out, went to this one, put it in, and my second spin,
the
I went to
full
bonus, and I
bowl.
won the $800 progressive, and it paid for my trip to Disneyland.
Wow.
I was
that's-
fixing to ask you that.
Well, and that's what I do. The $1,000 went somewhere. The few
Yeah.
times I won a quarter royal, that I bought a refrigerator. I took all the dogs to the vet and had all their teeth cleaned.
Wow.
I won $400 royals with dimes, and I got my first Kindle tablet that
Yeah.
way. So I tend to leave the casino with money in my pocket.
Yeah, you're better than me. Mine would go to money bags, fire links.
Lucky
it
duck.
goes back.
I'm
Lucky
pretty good
ducky.
about that. I get mad if I give it back. So I'll set a limit. As soon as I win something, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna allow myself to spend this much of it, and I'm leaving with the rest. Now, that rest, if it's not $400 or $500 where I could go buy something with it,
Yeah.
then it's gonna sit in my wallet, and the next several trips to the casino are gonna be guilt free because I'm gonna be using that money. That's how I do it. But honestly, the person I'm with right now doesn't gamble, so I've only been like, I'm really
very
itching to play.
We are itching, aren't
And
we?
he's like,
Sonja?
I'll go with you, but that's no fun. What, and stand there and judge me? No. I need somebody that is spending money right alongside me, not standing there and judging me.
Steady and
And saying, why? What is fun about this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah. So I think we're planning a Tulsa trip. This
We
one
are.
here.
Very
We're
fun.
gonna have a girls'
A
day.
girl's
That'll be fun.
And she's gonna help me
it's
take
business research.
yes business
Because
research.
And
we need to
research,
see
yeah.
what games are at other casinos. So research.
Very important.
So everybody sees they're going.
Uh-oh.
Did I get invited? Nope.
Oh,
You don't
no.
like to gamble.
Awkward.
No, I
just
don't
told
like
you,
to gamble.
I'm not bringing anybody that's going to judge me.
Yeah, you don't gamble. We don't want to be stopped
I
there
don't-
in a few
only
minutes
gamblers
so we
are
can talk to
invited.
people.
Well, I could always just go
We want to play it.
sit at the bar or something.
You're
not
welcome
invited.
to come.
Oh yeah, you're welcome to come.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. I love y'all too.
Oh,
I know I'm a party
man.
pooper.
We're just kidding. Anybody
I'm a
can
party
come.
pooper.
I love partying with you. You and I partied together. We've traveled together, Pam. We have
Boy,
fun.
have we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't invited to that.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't.
That was nice of Sonja to go with me.
It
So I
was
didn't
fun.
have to
I
go
was
by
happy
myself.
to
It
be
was all
invited.
right.
And then the next time I got invited to one, she canceled at the last minute. And I was
Yeah.
really looking forward
Sure
to it.
did.
When's the next one?
About a year.
Oh,
No,
wow.
it won't be a year. It'll be this year.
Yeah, because it was
Okay.
last year you canceled.
Yeah.
And, she can't go unless I go. That's the rule.
That's right. That's the way it works now.
I also eat meals, but that's fine.
Hey, you can go.
I'll stay and work.
Uh-oh. Awkward.
I'm telling you, it's all the food you can imagine, just food everywhere.
Oh, man. That sounds fun.
I love that
It
stuff.
sounds like they're bragging.
Well, you like to gamble, I like to eat.
I could
like to do both.
Okay.
It was fun.
It was.
I'm well-rounded.
Oh, gosh.
No
I
comment.
don't think anybody's sitting here
I am
is
not
going to be
saying a
accused of
word.
not eating.
No.
Food's good. It's yummy, yummy.
All right.
Any
So-
other questions?
Any other questions?
No? What else you got to tell us about compliance?
Oh, nobody wants to hear it. about
It's
compliance.
pretty boring.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
a drag.
But it's needed, though. That's so important.
That's a
Oh.
good question. How do you know you're coming to work, and like you said, it can be boring.
Yeah.
How do you make it when you go in your office and know you've got to write these new compliances, new policies?
Oh, the stress of work.
How do you make it entertaining and continue to sit there and do it?
It's not
Mm.
entertaining, but it's challenging. So, like, when I first came to work here, it's funny because I'm a pretty good interview. Like, you interview me for a job, probably going to get it. Pretty good at it.
Oh, boy.
And so I know how to. The interview that because James sat in on my interview, and that one was a little different than the norm because I had just suffered a personal loss, and you were advertising for a management position, and I hadn't been in compliance technically, so I felt under. I didn't want to misrepresent my abilities. Normally, I know I talk myself up, but my first day when I got here, I sat at that desk. They put me at the desk, and Ben gave me a little stack of stuff that there'd been findings that we promised to do certain things to fix, and no one had done them. He said,
Right.
"Please take care of these first." And I'm like, "Sure." And he leaves the office, and I open my screen, and I have that blank piece of paper in front of me. I was like, "Oh my god, why did I think I could do this?" Like,
Yeah.
pure panic.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
what
called
I'm
my
thinking.
friend. I called my friend at that other place and said, "Send me a copy of one of our policies so I can at least picture it."
Yeah.
And they did. And so I was like, okay. But what I found was
See,
once I got the first few words out, then it flows.
Okay.
And I actually, I'm not bad at finding ways to word things, and I have good grammar, and so I'm not bad at wording things and adding details. And when it's finished, it's like this pretty thing from nothing to
Right.
something.
Two
Right.
rules I gotta follow.
And you guys are way
not
more
pretty.
impressed with it than you should be. Like when people see it, they're like, "Wow!" And I'm like, "Man, I should have typed slower." They're really impressed with it. But anyway, there's a sense of accomplishment for it. So it's not fun or interesting, but it's challenging. There was a question on here you guys didn't ask me, and that was, I was told you were going to ask me how I deal with fear. It was a James question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a dumb question. What am I supposed to say to that?
And then we had that discussion.
And then we had a conversation. And I
Yes.
thought, well, by the time you're our age, not you, darling.
No.
Getting a
but
little
you.
salty up top.
You and I, we're close.
Yeah.
Life has kicked you.
Oh, yeah.
You've probably faced your worst fears over and over and over again. And we won't go into detail, but you all know my history. Pretty much the worst thing that can ever happen to you has happened to me. And that puts everything into perspective.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of fears. When my husband died and I moved here, it was a huge fear. Buying a house, taking care of myself, changing the batteries in doing all the little things that have been taken care of for years was a challenge. This job was new. It was scary. So most of my fears now are things like that. And what I do is what I've always done. My first instinct is to procrastinate because I'm scared of it.
Put it off, yeah.
And in the younger Sonja, I would have procrastinated it for years. Now, this Sonja, I'll procrastinate for a little bit.
Right.
And then I will force myself to face it. And then you get that high afterwards because you conquered it. You accomplished it. And sometimes it's such a little thing and you're like, why was I afraid of that? But yeah, myself I procrastinate and then I just barrel
Jump
through like
in
a
and do it.
bulldog. Like just don't let anything stop me. And we just did this yesterday. I had to do a policy I've been postponing for months because I didn't know how to word it. And I kept thinking, oh man, I better do it before James says, hey, where are we on that policy? And I almost did it, but somebody asked him about it, so it got brought up before I could quite do it. So I didn't get away with it. But once I dug in there, I realized I already had most of it in my head. I had researched it already, and I found all the pieces, and it took me no time at all to finally do it. But now it's like, yes, now I don't have to. Because while I'm procrastinating, it's sitting right here. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. thinking about it. It's right.
Yeah, it's
You're
easier
not
to
rid
knock
of
it out
it
and get it done.
until you barrel through and face it. So
there's some key things you just talked about there. Being in a leadership role, is that you've shown the amount of growth just in your life from putting off something for a long time to smaller now. That shows growth. And another thing is that procrastination is basically anxiety, right? So we have this fear that we're in our head over and over again. Oh my gosh, the fear of completing what we don't know yet. So overcoming that, Sonja, is huge, huge. So yeah, showing the growth.
thanks.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
We love you here, Sonja.
So with that being said, Sonja, so you have all this experience of growth and you learned so much in your life. You've gone through so much fear and pain, right? What would you give advice to the younger generation, let's say maybe Stephanie or even younger, that how do you overcome that fear when you're young?
Well, I mostly talk about perspective, keeping things in perspective and facing your fears head on. I recognize procrastination, and if I see it in somebody I'm talking to, I'll, advise, I'll maybe give them pointers on how to get into it, and then, remind them of how good they're going to feel once it's done. But mostly it's perspective because everything feels so big.
Yes.
And somebody gave me some advice a long time ago, and I always have remembered it. And that was, when you have something that's keeping you up at night, you need to take a look at whatever that issue is. Let's say with me, it was like there were years where my husband and I really struggled financially. Oh my gosh, how are we going to pay the electric? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I would be sick over it. And somebody said, if you're not going to remember this moment and this problem 5 years from now, it is not worth your time right now. So I give that advice a lot because it had an impact on me, because some of these things that feel so giant, they're just nothing. Everything passes. Everything.
It does.
Time moves on and you find your way through it, and usually you come out stronger the other end. So, I don't know what that's worth, but that's usually the advice I give.
I think the key thing you said is taking steps to figure it out, whether it be small or whatever. I think that's a big key.
Yep.
The advice, yeah, for
they
sure.
They don't go away. Those things you don't want to do, they just don't go away. They just get bigger and they get worse. And it's better.
So it's best just do them and get done with it.
Yeah.
And that's true, Pam.
Yeah.
Very
it
true.
Is.
But it's hard for some people because they're in their head.
Well, and there's all kinds of, not to underrate the struggles people go through, because there are lots of mental health issues that people have that make it almost impossible for them to not procrastinate and to face, like, they're just literally, I have people in my life that are literally almost physically crippled at the thought of doing something that they're afraid of. And it's painful to watch.
And I think a lot of times people don't realize that they're afraid of it. So until they figure that part out, they can't overcome it. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
There are mental, I've been watching a lot of information videos about ADD. ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And in adults, it lives in your head. And I know people in my life that are ADHD and were diagnosed as children that have just kind of gone through life. And I'm able to look at behaviors that they have had that have been frustrating for me on the outside.
Right.
That I thought, because they just seem irrational. And well, just do it. Why are you still talking about it 2 years later? It's been worrying you. Just do it. When the reality is they can't.
They can't do it.
And they have these funny videos to portray it. Like, someone's laying on the couch, like, well, I really need to take a shower today. You hear them in their head. Really need to take a shower today. Well, if I'm going to work out, I plan on working out. If I'm going to work out, I should probably work out first, and then I can take a shower after I work out. Well, if I'm going to work out, then I better eat something, because if I don't eat something, well, if I'm going to eat something, then I better do the dishes, because the dishes, and then, they get to a point where it's like they're so paralyzed, they can't even get off the couch.
It's ADHD.
Yeah.
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 So we got to recognize that in those people around us, that it seems like they're just lazy maybe, or they just don't want to do what some of them are really quite literally incapable. Wow, sorry, that has nothing to do with compliance.
Right. No, that's a good point. I mean, I think it's a good point in leadership. We all have serve a leadership role for the casino. And I think having those moments or those challenges, building policy or having to talk to an employee about something that's an issue, it's challenging. And we have to overcome mentally inside our brain, okay, I've got to take care of this. And how do I do it?
Yes, and you gotta, don't you, when you look at the person that you're coming to that's violated a policy and they need to be coached up a little bit, do you prepare yourself before you go to that person and say, okay, now this person is this way, so I need to do it this way?
Well,
Do you do that? I mean, do you look at the people differently and how you're going to approach them? And
somewhat. I mean, obviously you have, fortunately, very fortunately, I'm not the one that runs around and tells people that they broke policy. I might tell Stephanie, or I'll do little exceptions, but I rarely have to have a one-on-one conversation.
You don't have to do the dirty work.
And if I do have to do it, yes, like, you recognize a lot of people respond the same to this kind of stuff, though. They get very defensive, or they're scared.
Yeah.
They're afraid they're going to be in trouble.
Yes.
So I will make sure they understand that this is, it's just a mistake, and everybody makes them, and it's why we have to have the exception, and I don't know, just try to soften it as much as I can. I'm not great at it. If they're, I haven't had to deal with it a lot, to be honest, Pam.
well,
'cause
that's good.
I don't have any directs to have that, or I have to discipline.
She directs me, and she's very kind about it.
But bringing
Is she,
the
though?
people that give you trouble, and I know how to deal with them, huh, Stephanie? She'll be like, so and so, I'm like, bring them here. I'll take care of it. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah. But it's also key, how to talk to the employee. It's a whole other different
Whole
topic
nother
we can
show.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole different show.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? You definitely covered the fear question, Sonja, so I appreciate it.
You
did a
did
great
great.
job.
Yes, good job.
Good job, Sonia.
Yeah,
And thank you for doing it.
No problem.
for sure.
Yeah, I like being
Appreciate
part
it.
of the team.
For sure.
It was fun. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pam.
Oh, you're so welcome, Sonia.
Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome, Sonia.
I thought somebody was going to give me a surprise question, but they didn't do it. So I'm free, right?
Actually,
Yeah.
I hate to break it in. Hi, guys.
No.
Uh-oh, here we
Surprise
go.
question,
Oh,
Sonia.
boy.
When you go back to Vegas,
Yeah.
because we're foodies on here, what is one food you have to get that you can't get around here?
I always have to get capriottis. They're turkey, coal, and I have to get In-N-Out.
Oh, I love
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
I had
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out for the first time when we went to an air show. In
That was the
Houston.
first time you ever had In-N-Out?
It was the first time I've ever had
Oh
In-N-Out.
my God, In-N-Out is the bomb.
good.
So good.
I don't know if it's that good. It's
Oh,
pretty
it
good.
is
not
No,
good.
it's so good.
Hush your mouth.
I've
I've
It
had
is.
In-N-Out in
I'm
Vegas.
on-
It's not that good.
Yes,
I'm
it
on
is.
Whataburger side. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But you know
Oh,
what?
That's pretty good.
I've never had a Whataburger.
I'd have to say Whataburger's better.
Oh no, there's no
No.
way. I
You haven't had
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
But I mean, they
She doesn't
cut
need
their
to.
fries fresh right there in front
Yes.
of you. The buns are baked fresh every day. Whataburger's not baking their buns. Don't you tell me they are. 'cause
No,
they
they're
are.
not, but they're
They
making their
are-
fries
They
fresh.
are literally baking their buns at In-N-Out. That's why they want to fall apart. And they're the best. They make the food the same now as they made it 50 years ago.
Was
I
there
think
In and
some
Out
of it-
50 years ago?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I think sometimes it's really about like growing up. Like I've lived with people and be like, "Oh my God, we got a White Castle, yay!" And then
Yeah.
they bring these nasty little square things with no meat and onion all over it, and it's because that's what they remember
Yeah.
eating
I
after
think it
they were
sounds terrible.
partying.
Hey, I
as
don't know why you
teenagers.
left me because White Castle should not be talked about like that.
Oh, it's
Oh,
horrible.
boy.
It's
It
horrible.
shouldn't.
Oh,
Oh,
If you
my
were
lands.
scarfing it down when you were high at 14 years old, you're not going to like it at 50. It's disgusting.
Well, if you're high at 50 and still scarfing them down, it might taste the same as it did when you was
It's
high when you
memory.
was
Oh,
It's
14.
memories.
boy.
And In-N-Out Burger, they were always hard to get. So it was far away from the house. And the only time we got In-N-Out Burger is when we were on our way to see the drive-in movie. For those
Yeah.
of you that don't know, we used to call them drive-ins and walk-ins. I said that once. I called something a walk-in, and they looked at me
Walk-in?
like I was crazy. I'm like, it's a walk-in theater.
I never heard of that.
I haven't either.
Not a drive-in.
Am I crazy, or did
No.
we not call them walk-ins?
I
You
didn't
had
hear.
drive-ins and walk-in theaters.
I never heard
You
of
either
them.
walked in and sat down, or you drove in and parked.
I never heard it.
Yeah. So anyway, we'd be driving down to the drive-in, and we would get in and out on the way. My mom would. So it's definitely attached to. But
Yeah.
not Capriati's. They literally are like roasting turkeys in the back every day and cutting them,
Oh,
carving
wow.
them. Like there's no lunch meat involved. This is like regular
Yeah.
turkey meat, like having a leftover sandwich the day
Wow. That's cool.
Sounds like we need a week off
after.
work.
Capriati's. Now my guilty
We
food.
need to take a
My guilty
vacation.
food that
Yes,
no
to
one-
go eat.
My White Castle is Wiener Schnitzel because those
love
chili
Wiener
dogs
Schnitzel.
Oh, man.
are so good, and they're not. They're
They're
awful.
not. It's
I'm
just
sure
a
they're
chili
awful
dog.
to anybody that didn't grow up eating them, but I love them.
Well, yeah, I'm had them all the time in California. Well,
There
my
you
husband's from
go.
here.
There's
He's
none
like,
here.
there's nothing exciting about this chili dog. And I said, just eat it.
Eat
Because
it.
we buy like 30 to 50.
I know.
And
Oh, wow.
You
Eat
eat
it
them
for
like
days.
popcorn. You got a bag of hot vodka chili dogs.
And what
they'll
did
be
he
like, would you
say?
like cheese? Don't you ruin it. I want
He-
just the chili dog. There's no chili in the chili dog. It's like, you ever
yeah.
bought a can of hot dog sauce at the grocery
Yes.
store? Now it's mostly thin with a little speckle of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
That's all it is.
chili is on chili dogs at Wiener Schnitzel.
There's nothing special about them.
But there's a
But
taste and a memory.
That's what counts, right, Pam?
Are they little?
No,
or
no,
are they
it's just their
big,
regular
regular
chili
size
dog.
hot
Regular
dog?
size
or-
chili dog.
And they just put that hot dog sauce on it that they call chili, and it's delicious. They're so good. They really are.
Okay.
You know,
Like
there's
them.
one like an hour away.
Where?
What?
A Wiener Schnitzel, yeah.
Where?
Where?
I don't know.
Tulsa?
Pull up
Did
the
you know,
maps.
you're young, did you know they used to be called Der Wiener Schnitzel? And they took the Der away. Yep.
The Durr.
No.
And you used to have to drive through. You couldn't go in and eat. You drove. They were like these little A-framed huts,
Mhm.
and you drove right through the middle.
Oh, that's
I didn't
cool.
know that, but I knew
And they
the
were
A-frame
called
hut.
Der Wiener Schnitzel. It's back in the days when they got rid of Jack from Jack in the Box, because there used to be an actual Jack
Mhm.
clown that you spoke into, and they blew him up one day. It was a big old commercial campaign, and they blew up Jack. And
Wow.
they got rid of the Der. It was it was happening when all that stuff was happening. I'm too old. I've lived too long.
No, we're just beginning.
That's right.
God,
Life's
I don't
just
know.
beginning.
Yeah.
You don't have to be
I'm
patient
tired.
no more.
Tired.
You don't have to be patient. You don't have to watch what
Yes,
you say.
you do. You're not gonna go that. I will not let that happen. My people think, oh, I'm old. I get to be crotchety and mean
Oh,
and
yeah.
rude. No, you can resist that. I know it comes naturally.
Pam's like, look,
Wait a minute. I've been mean and rude my whole life.
well, that's
She
but
so I've been
Stick.
told.
I
But
watched-
now I feel like I'm at the age where it don't matter.
I think it's
Who
still
I
matters.
offend.
I think it's really easy for older people. And I remember my mom walking in my house when she was like 55 and she came to live with us. She opened the door, and the first thing that I'm over 50 now, and I can say what I want whether you like it or not. And that just set the tone. And it was
No.
never okay. And I watched my late husband going through that, turning into the guy that's looking out the window to see who's walking on his lawn. We didn't have a lawn. This was in Vegas. But heaven forbid. And we used to fight about it. Like, you are not going to be that neighbor that chases the kids away. What is wrong with you? I won't let you turn into that. You can resist it.
So looking forward to it.
You do get less patient with people.
I
Yeah.
never had patience to begin with. So
I'm pretty patient, or I
Would
was.
kinda
I'm not
scary.
as patient now.
I've never been a patient person. I've always.
Well, on the bright side, people will stop
Want it now.
approaching you everywhere you go.
That's true.
If you're grouchy,
Yeah.
But it
I'll
doesn't,
hide on the next
it
aisle.
doesn't seem to work, does it? When we go places, do people still talk to me?
No, but you're still kind of nice.
That's because you're not as
That's
grouchy as
fake.
you want us to think.
Still kind of nice.
Still.
5 years, all that's gone.
Okay. Okay, Steph. I'll work on being more mean when
That
people
was not a
approach me.
surprise question, Nate. That was on the list.
Wait,
That's
Nate's still here?
I've been worried all
Nate
night.
is still here.
Oh,
He's-
wow.
He's
Did I
trying to
Did I
hide.
break the third wall?
She
or
let the
fourth
cat
wall,
out of
what
the
do they call
bag.
that? Sorry, Nate.
He's
Oh, my
trying to
God.
hide from us.
He ain't
All right.
here.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's
All
wrap it up.
right.
All right. Well,
Thanks again, Sonia.
yep.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
I enjoyed
Sonja.
it. It was fun.
Appreciate it.
It was
Sonia.
fun.
Sorry to make everybody listen to compliance stuff. I was so excited.
All right, that wraps it up for today. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Pam
Thank you.
and Stephanie. And that is another one of Over the Moon.
Over the moon.
See you next time.
Thank you.